right, so now we're going to give this a little try. It's nice and crunchy and crisp country fried steak, beef cube steak. Let me get this little piece of gravy right here. Oh, you guys, that is divine. That is so crispy good, and the garlic that I put in that garlic powder really makes all the difference in the world. Oh my goodness, guys. That is just about perfect. Let me know if you make this. Okay, for your country fried steak marinade batter, first of all, you want 2 eggs, 2 cups of buttermilk mixed in with that, and then you want to add a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, or you can use some cayenne pepper, and I like to put a little bit, about a half a teaspoon of some garlic powder, and whisk that together really well. Next, you want to take your little steaks and place them on a paper towel and get the moisture out of them. If your steaks are not already about 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch thick like these are, which is just the size I want them to be, if yours are thicker, then you're going to need to hammer them out with a meat hammer and thin them out. But I just buy them already thinned out this way. Now, if you don't get the moisture out of the meat the best you can, sometimes it makes the breading not want to stick when you fry them. So I just take the precaution to go ahead and try to get a little bit of the moisture out and dry them the best I can, just to help the crunchy batter to stick to it better when I fry them. After that, I like to go ahead and put my marinade in a Ziploc bag, and then I carefully take the little steaks and I lay them in the marinade in the Ziploc bag, being very careful not to let them break apart. And then I place the Ziploc bag in the refrigerator, and you can let these marinate for 4 hours to overnight. So you see, we're gonna place them in there as carefully as possible. There we go. Get as much air out as possible. Like this. Make sure you seal that really well. And get that marinade on there real good. What you can do to help get the top steak coated is you can place your plate on top and flip it over this way, and just kind of continue that process to help get them all soaked in that buttermilk. Okay, let's go ahead and put this in the refrigerator for a while. Now for your breading, for your country fried steaks, I personally like to use a self-rising flour that's got a little bit of baking soda in it, and I like to put 2 cups of that into a Ziploc bag and then add a teaspoon of salt to that, half a teaspoon of black pepper. You can add some cayenne pepper as well, and I like to add about a half a teaspoon of onion powder. Yeah, let's go ahead and add some cayenne pepper. I love me some cayenne pepper. All right, there we go. Now, some people would just prefer to put this in a shallow baking pan or baking dish and mix it up with a whisk. I can never get it mixed up as well as I like it that way, so I like to go ahead and mix it this way in a Ziploc bag. And then once I get it all mixed like this, you can either bread your steaks in this Ziploc bag, or you can put this flour mixture into a baking dish and then dredge your country fried steaks in the flour mixture in a baking dish. Either way, it's your choice, however you want to do it. Next, what you want to do is reserve about 2 tablespoons of your flour mixture for making your gravy here in just a bit. Just about 2 tablespoons is good, and we'll set that aside. Then you want to transfer your buttermilk from your Ziploc bag into a baking dish. And what we're going to do is take a steak very carefully, and you're going to hope that it does not break apart. Well, you can either put it directly into your flour, or you can put another coating like this on it, and then we're going to dredge it in the flour really well. And let's flip that over. Make sure the other side is dredged really well. And we're going to put that back in the buttermilk. We're going to double dip it like this. Flip it over. Let's put it back in here. Coat it one more time. You're going to do this twice with each of the steaks. And after that, sit it on your plate and then follow through with the next one. Next, you want to take each of your little steaks and put them in your oil, and being as careful as you can to not let them break and crumble apart. And I fry one at a time. Then you want to carefully, very, very, very carefully, flip it over. This is not easy to do without getting grease splattered everywhere. There we go. Then you want to go ahead and get it transferred over to your plate. And follow through with the rest of your steaks. Now, to make your gravy, you want to take your 2 tablespoons of oil that you want to reserve from where you cooked your steaks and put that in your saucepan. And then your reserved flour mixture, you're going to add that to it. And you're just going to saute it until it's lightly brown. And when that starts to thicken, you can slowly add your 1.5 cups to 2 cups of milk to that. And then you can add salt and pepper or whatever else you want to flavor your gravy. Now, as that starts to bubble and saute a little bit, just keep stirring it and kind of working that around. Then you can go ahead and slowly start adding your milk to it, just a little at a time. As that starts to thicken up, just slowly add a little bit more milk, not too much at a time. And now's a good time to add your pepper, your seasonings, your salt, whatever you want to add. continue to stir your gravy until it gets to your desired thickness. And once it gets to that point, you can transfer it to your gravy dish and be ready to eat. All right, so now we're going to give this a little try. It's nice and crunchy and crisp country fried steak, beef cube steak. Let me get this little piece of gravy right here. Oh, you guys, that is divine. That is so crispy good, and the garlic that I put in that garlic powder really makes all the difference in the world. Oh my goodness, guys. That is just about perfect. Let me know if you make this. So I make dinners for me and my stepdad, and I pack it all up and I bring it over to his house, and we sit down at the table and we have a lovely nice dinner together, all a home-cooked meal. Okay, now we're gonna eat our nice little dinner of country fried steak.
And fresh.
It's gonna take a video instead. So it's not taking a picture, it's recording us on a video. So we can send it to Pat and Sherry and Bobby and whoever else. We're having homemade country fried steak, succotash, and pear crunch pie, right? Don't have the ice cream, but that'll be okay.